guys, welcome back to Freedom Homestead. I'm Tangie, and today's video I'm super pumped about because, well, for two reasons. One, I get to talk about my favorite seed company, and two, because I'm talking about gardening. And you guys know that nothing brings me more happiness than gardening. So let's get into it. Okay, so for those of you who are new here, my favorite seed company is MIgardener. When we started looking into gardening, we decided that we were going to do a raised bed, but we didn't know how to make a raised bed. So I got online, got on YouTube, looked up how to make a raised bed, and I came across a young fella that lives in Michigan, quite a bit younger than me, but was so knowledgeable and so excited about gardening that it was just contagious, and I was hooked. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I came across MIgardener. I've been hooked ever since, and it's been, what, 6 years, I guess? Anyway, so it's been really cool to watch him not only grow as a channel, grow as a family man, but also grow as a businessman. His dreams of being able to teach the world how to grow their own food, and not only teach them, but also provide an inexpensive seed source, has come true, and we are all better gardeners for it. So Luke, thank you so much for following your passion and for making MIgardener what it is today, because my family has certainly benefited from it, and I know that thousands of others have too. MIgardener asked me if I would share with you all my top 10 favorite seeds, to which I said,
just 10?
I have not had any seeds do me wrong. You know, like, I ain't breaking up with none of the seeds because they're all wonderful. They've all germinated. They have all worked hard for me in the garden. So I'm just gonna get into the ones that I narrowed it down to. It was tough, but let's get into it. Okay, so first I'm gonna get into probably my favorite. This is like my top favorite, which I know everyone saves their favorite for last, but I'm gonna do my favorite first. Every time I tried to grow peppers of any kind, I always got small peppers, thin skin, like thin flesh, bitter, and I thought maybe I'm not amending the soil right. So I would use different amendments and was still getting the same outcome. That is until I used MIgardener's seeds for peppers. And I am telling you what, I want you to look. These are California Wonder Bells. My peppers were ginormous and sweet and plump and grew. I mean, I had some peppers bigger than my hands. They were just gargantuan. I have several bags of peppers in my freezer, and they are MIgardener peppers, and they're wonderful, and they did so well for me. Finally made me feel like okay, maybe I'm finally getting somewhere in this gardening thing. Like, maybe I can actually feed my family. I love having bell peppers in the freezer to add to any dish. I mean, and and to know that I grew them, and that each pepper probably cost, after all was said and done, like a fraction of a cent, because the seeds, MIgardener seeds, are 99 cents for the pack. For the pack, you get 50. I didn't grow all of them. I still have several seeds in here, but 50 seeds for 99 cents, that's 2 cents a seed. One seed produces one plant. One plant gives you how many peppers? I mean, so truly, I mean, it's crazy, the math. It's crazy, the math. What's weird is going to the grocery store and seeing peppers for $2 a piece. What? When you can buy 2 packs? When you can buy 100 seeds for the price of 1 pepper. It's crazy. Second favorite, again, it's another pepper. All-time favorite, the jalapeños. Again, before I have bought plants, I have started plants from seeds from other companies and had small, just mediocre to poor outcome with them. This year, our jalapeños were huge. I mean, they were massive, and they were plump and very fleshy, and those plants lasted forever. I'm like, these things are never gonna die. Like, I'm gonna harvest jalapeños forever. But we have jars and jars and jars and freezer bags and freezer bags and freezer full of jalapeños. But look at that. I mean, you can't see some of the sizes of the rings, but they're bigger than my thumb. Like, they're huge. and they're delicious. And I, again, was just so pleased with how well these came out. So this was the first year that I grew this variety of zucchini, Black Beauty. And one of the things that I love about having a garden is that if you're an artistic person, then you can certainly play around with colors, and also keeping in mind what your plates are gonna look like when you're cooking this food for your family. I loved having Black Beauty zucchini, just because it's not the light green that you're used to seeing, but it was this really dark green, and it was just beautiful. And it made beautiful zucchini relish. That's some of my MIgardener peppers in there, these red peppers. But yeah, you can definitely see some of that dark green on the skin there. These were a real pleasure having in the garden. So my next favorite, I actually don't have the seed pack, but I grew these a couple of years ago. Was it last year? Not 2017, but in 2016, I grew glass gem corn. Now, I don't have the packet that it came in, but it came in one of their first packets, which looked like this. It was the little plastic one with the homemade label. Because their seeds are so inexpensive, you have room in your budget to try things that maybe you wouldn't have been able to afford to try going through other seed companies. But this is glass gem corn. It's an ornamental heirloom corn, non-GMO, of course, and it is just beautiful. Now, I grew this because I thought they were pretty, and I thought I could make a lot of really cool crafts with them, and I did. I also gave some as gifts that, you know, kept them on the cob and dried them and gave them as gifts. But also, this is edible. You can grind this and make it into cornmeal. I tried popcorn. The popcorn didn't work out for me so much, but it's just beautiful. And I've also made grits. I've made grits, and the grits are delicious. But I have a few of these jars, and they're beautiful. And so that is definitely one of my favorite MIgardener seeds. So this year I wanted to try growing more medicinal flowers and herbs. This is the chamomile, which I'd never grown chamomile before. This is what I have left. There's not a whole lot, but you harvest the blossoms. They smell like cream and honey. I mean, just amazing. They are just, and they're so, I didn't realize they were so tiny, but you make tea with these. This is lemon balm, and you can make tea with that as well. But not only are they delicious, but they're also very good for you, and they can be used to treat several different kinds of symptoms. Insomnia, if you just want to feel less stressed, chamomile is a really good tea for that. It also can help you sleep. Lemon balm is good for tummy issues, and it is a really delicious herb to use with chicken and fish, because it tastes like lemon. Okay, so one of the things that I concentrated on in our 2017 garden was that I also wanted to grow more beautiful looking foods, and so I had read about the French breakfast radish, and MIgardener, I was asking him questions about it, and he was like, yeah, it's a very mild radish, not as spicy as like a cherry bell, and they're beautiful. So I got them, and I love them. They are now my favorite radish. Very mild, very tender. I like the shape of them, so you can like with the cherry bells, you know, you have the big ones, so you kind of have to cut them up to eat them. But these are like automatic finger foods. They're long, they're slender. Some of them can be a little on the fat side, but mostly they were slender, so you could just, you know, cut the top, cut the bottom, wash it, dip it in ranch, and have a really yummy snack. It was a beautiful addition to salads. I really loved it, but I also love using the tops. What? You can use the tops? Absolutely. Use the tops, dehydrate them, and make a green powder. These are, this is dehydrated radish tops, beet tops, collard greens, and endive, and different lettuces that I grew in my garden. I dehydrated a bunch of it, ground it up, and you sneak these greens into your family's food. Add it to your chili, add it to smoothies, add it to your sloppy joes, add it to your meatloaf. It's just a good way to add some vitamins and some fiber, and your family never knowing. But yeah, definitely if you're interested in trying radishes, this is a really good one. It's really pretty, it's a beautiful presentation, and again, It's 99 cents for this pack of seeds, and so you can definitely afford trying it. Just to see, just try it. See if your family likes it. So going back to herbs, basil is my absolute favorite herb. It is my absolute favorite. I love the smell, I love the taste, I love the look. I love that I can have it fresh. I love that I can have it dried. I even have some frozen I emulse them with olive oil and froze them in ice trays, so I have some of those. I love basil, but this is just some that I have left from dehydrating it and grinding it up. But these grew so well for me. They did not die. I harvested basil all summer and all fall until we had our very first hard freeze. Then they died. But yeah, they were just amazing and prolific, and I love this basil. So the next one I want to share with you are the tomatoes. Now the reason why I'm showing you these two specific ones is because these two blew my mind. I'd never grown these before. But I knew that I wanted to have tomatoes of different sizes, different shapes, and different colors because, again, it's aesthetically pleasing. And I was absolutely shocked by the way these grew. Okay, first of all, the yellow pear, they're good for salads, juice, canning, relish. They're really good for roasting with a little bit of olive oil, some salt, and some Parmesan cheese. Oh my word. They were just absolutely delicious. But I planted two of these. And they sprawled and they were just everywhere. I could not believe how productive the plants were. So let me tell you, if you get these, make sure that you give them plenty of space, that you give them plenty of trellis, and I just really hope you like tomatoes because these are killer. The black cherry tomatoes, sweet, robust, lots and lots of flavor. I enjoyed them the same way I enjoyed these. I even used them, I was canning some tomato sauce and I even put them in my salsa, but I could tell when I put them in how the color of my tomato sauce deepened just a little bit, and I just love it. So this is homemade tomato sauce and I love it. So definitely, I mean, all of the tomato seeds I have used from MIgardener have done very, very well for me, but these were a big surprise. Also, I wanted to share this with you guys as well. Not only do I get salsa and tomato sauce and all the wonderful things that tomatoes generally bring, but don't let any of your tomato go to waste. Make you some tomato powder. What I did this last time that I made tomato sauce, all the pulp that I had left, the seeds, the skin, everything, I put on my food dehydrator. I put in my food dehydrator, I dehydrated it, I ground it, and tomato powder can be used as a thickening agent, kind of like a tomato paste. And it's a really great thing to have in your pantry if you do a lot of cooking with like tomatoey stuff, whatever. Okay, you guys, those are my top 10 favorite MIgardener seeds. I want to thank MIgardener not only for being so good to me and my family, they're just wonderful, wonderful people, but also helping me to become a better gardener and for sponsoring this video. So not only are these seeds 99 cents each, but you guys, if you use my code TCW10, you will save an extra 10% off of your purchase. So it is a win-win, okay? I think I've said everything that I want to say. I could say more, but then it might just come out really weird. I probably should have had this down the whole time so you can see my shirt. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by Freedom Homestead. Here we're about living off the land, being together as a family. We homeschool our 2 children. We talk to you about our gardening adventures, how we preserve our own food and build our food storage. We live on a tight budget and we share with you our grocery hauls. I will even break out the cleaners and show you how I clean my house. So whether we're sharing with you our life, our love of liberty, or our love for each other, thanks so much for stopping by, and please consider subscribing.